Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. Today in MMA and UFC news, Kenny Florain breaks down why he believes Jon Jones is a fight genius during a recent podcast.
I'm always very impressed with Jon Jones and his ability to break things down. This is a highly intelligent human being who just might be a fight genius, okay? The way that he could break you down psychologically, technically, he knows exactly what he needs to do out there, and he's been doing it for an extremely long time. And I think what's making things worse for people who may face Jon Jones is that he is maturing, I believe, in every way, shape, or form. I think he's getting it together in more ways than one. And you can just get that sense that there is this new Jon Jones that is out there right now.
Alexander Volkanovski admits that trash talking in the UFC is a way in which fighters can get bigger fights and paydays. Here's what Volkanovski had to say during a recent interview.
Yeah, well, you're right. You know, it definitely can. Like, you see it all the time. You see guys get a couple of knockouts. Obviously, you need the knockouts, but that trash talk as well, it can.
Sure.
It can. The hype can go up real quick, and
Big
it can fast track you to things, and that's legit. You know, that's no lie. We see it happen all the time, and you get a lot of
Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, you get a lot of good opportunities from it. You know what I mean? And the money's going to be good, and all that's going to fast track you. But at the same time, some people are just, that's who they are anyway. So it works well. And then you get guys that are going to be just put on a show and all that. And you can see some of them. And again, his name's always going to come up. I've said some things, but I mean, I don't want to have a bad blood with the guy. But you see someone like Colby Covington, who he knows he plays that sort of role. He's like, I'm going to play it. You know what I mean? Which is, you know, it's weird. It's a weird sort of thing to do. So for me, I just couldn't do that.
Dana White announces a stacked card for UFC 288. During a recent video posted to his Instagram, Dana finally announces the fight between Henry Cejudo and Aljamain Sterling, which will headline UFC 288 in New Jersey.
What's up, everybody? I'm sure you heard we are coming back to Newark, New Jersey, May 6th. The main event, Sterling versus Cejudo. The co-main event, Oliveira versus Dariush. We got Jan versus Andrade, Mitchell versus Pierce. The return of Kron Gracie. He'll be taking on Jourdain. We have a stacked card. We're coming back to Jersey and the East Coast. Tickets go on sale next Friday the 17th. I will see you all in New Jersey.
In a separate interview, Dana White said he believes Jon Jones would easily do to Francis Ngannou what he did to Cyril Gane.
I tried to make that fight for 2 years. He didn't want the fight. You know what I mean? He didn't want the fight. And I mean, he left here without even having another deal in place, you know. And I know how the boxing world is. It's crazy. But, yeah, Francis didn't want to do it. I tried to make that fight for 2 years. And let me tell you what. I think a lot of other people feel this way. You know, I think that's exactly the way the fight would have gone if he was in there, too. You know, him and Cyril had a 5-round war. And if Cyril doesn't go for that submission, Cyril probably wins that fight at the end of the 5th round there.
Former UFC lightweight champion Benson Henderson has decided to retire following a submission loss to Usman Nurmagamdeov at Bellator 292. Here's what Benson had to say following his loss.
I have a bad job. I do a bad job of stopping to smell the roses and appreciating everything. The last couple of fights in my career, I realized I knew that they were going to be, you know, towards the end of them, some of the last fights that I had. So just trying to appreciate the walkout, appreciate the fans, appreciate sitting here right now talking to you guys, because this will probably be the last time I ever do this, you know. So just trying to stop and smell the roses and really appreciate everything has been my big thing the last 3, 4, 5 fights or so. And right now tonight, leaving that cage, just trying to appreciate it, man. And I told myself, anytime you lose during these 4 fights, then that's probably it. So that's what happened. So time to lay the gloves down, you know. But yeah, I'll still be around, I'll still be helping guys out. I love my team. We have the hardest working gym in the world, bar none, hands down, no ands, ifs, or buts about it. We have the hardest working gym in the world. My little brothers, my little sisters, I love them to death, and I'll be there to help them out.
Sean O'Malley doesn't think Jon Jones and Daniel Cormier will ever get along. Here's what O'Malley had to say about their beef during a recent podcast.
Jon Jones still mad at DC. He saw that.
Yeah.
He said you couldn't even pretend to be happy for me.
You think he was salty?
You know what? I don't know. It's hard because from DC's perspective, I get it too. Because I was kind of watching. I'm like, what's going on here? It didn't look like he had him.
No.
So from DC's perspective, it might not have looked like from that angle, maybe it was weird. You know, from John's perspective, he said he hurt his spine and his neck cracking, and it was like, ooh,
a little chiropractor appointment.
Yeah. So yeah, their beef will continue forever. I mean, it's those guys just aren't gonna ever get along.
No.
Two alphas that just.
Did it surprise you that John went and did that?
Well,
he just got the job done
not
quick.
necessarily. I mean, look at Gon's a kickboxer.
Yeah.
I feel like light heavyweight John Jones could have done that.
Umar Nurmagamdeov breaks down why he and his brother Usman have a style that's considerably different to their cousin Khabib during a recent edition of the Weighing In podcast.
What is different? So like Khabib and Islam, they train with his father, and they have more of a wrestling type background. You and your brother Usman have more of a Taekwondo style stand up, but you still have wrestling, but it's not the same type of wrestling that Khabib and Islam have. What was it like growing up that made you guys so different in your styles of fighting?
Me and Usman was training to Muay Thai, maybe 3-4 a year. I know this Islam and Khabib never go to like same school, you know. They improve his boxing here. Khabib improved with Javier Mendez, and they become better in the like with everybody, you know, like in MMA training. But me and Usman, we from Muay Thai school. We was competition in Dagestan, in Russian challenge, like a Russian championship like this. And that's why I think, because of when you do something 3 years or 4 years, of course we'll be good there.
Brian Ortega is aiming to return on International Fight Week in July. Here's what Ortega had to say during a recent video posted to social media.
Shoulder's doing good. Shoulder's doing good. We had a sparring right now tonight. We just finished. We're doing good. We're doing good. I keep hearing things. People want to fight me. Still going. Feel me? Still going. I'm back in action hopefully by summer, so we're getting there. International Fight Week. I'm trying to get on International Fight Week. International Fight Week is going to be lit. Let's go.
George St. Pierre gives his take on whether knockout power is natural or can be achieved through training. Here's the clip.
Is knockout power a God gift, as they call, or something you can work on? Well, there's certainly a genetic component at it, but I personally know athletes who spend a lot of time working on it and get better at it. So it's not only about strike power, it's also about the mechanic of your strike, how you set it up, the timing, the speed, the reaction time, the ability to set it up to create a distraction, because what you don't see is really what hurts you. So I think there's a lot of factors that we don't fully understand about this subject, but I personally know from my experience that very often the athlete who hit the hardest are not the one who feel the strongest in wrestling, and vice versa. The stronger grappler very often are not the one who hit the hardest. So it really is a specialty. So it's a big debate among full contact athlete in combat sport, but I think it is something that you can work on, develop, and get better at it.
Dana White recently revealed that the reason he allowed Conor McGregor to bring some of his fighters onto his Tough 31 team was because it was one of the conditions of the contract. Conor McGregor was going to coach this season of The Ultimate Fighter, and he's like, yeah, I'll do it, but I'm bringing 2 guys that I want to make it right onto the show. Then of course the media says, oh, it's not fair, and look what happened to these guys. This is what Conor wants, so we'll give it to him. The guys that didn't make it on the show, we'll take care of them in the UFC. Guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you like the content we do here on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to MMA Library for all the latest MMA and UFC news. We'll see you in the next video.